I don't think the pilots and the cabin crew for one moment thought of that because they'd be programmed into carrying out the drill. Remember, they've rehearsed this many, many times. The pilot's gone through the simulator. Every 6 months, they have to go on the simulator and do precisely this. And so it'd be automatic mode. They all work as a team, but really work as a team. Everybody knows what they have to do. And they've done it. They've done it by the book. I don't think they could have done any more. You would say that this is far more relaxed in as much that the pilot had time to dump all the fuel, which is part of the safety procedure. If you look at the flight tracker, you'll see that he goes backwards and forwards many times and circles. And eventually he must have got the fuel right down. And all this time they are trying to get the undercarriage down as well. So somebody will be working on that. This is very unusual because there are several backup systems. If you can't actually lower it hydraulically, then you take up a panel from the floor, lift the panel, and there's a series of levers there, and you work. Basically, it's manual then, and gravity will sort of do the rest. But for some reason, that didn't happen, so they've decided they're going to do a belly landing. That means there's no wheels at all. And he's got the luxury of actually being able to slow the aircraft down because he's still got his two engines. They're working quite well. He's got sufficient fuel for the maneuver. And so what he does a classic landing. Everybody's ready. The emergency services are ready. The crew have already given instructions to all the passengers to assume what they call the brace position, get ready for impact, which means get down and protect your head. So they've all done that. Looking at the videos inside the cabin, the passengers seem to be, well, obviously they're very worried, but they're complying with the orders. Nobody's kicking off. So that's half the battle because, frankly, it means that everyone can concentrate on what needs to be done. Now, remember, on impact, if everything's okay, they have 90 seconds to clear the aircraft. That is the target time to get everybody off the aircraft. So you don't stop to pick up your cases, which we often see happens. And if the slides are deployed either side, you just go straight out the slide and you get well away from the aircraft. Now, in this particular case, the aircraft is on the ground. It comes in, it's about 120 miles an hour. He's putting on the brakes. He's still got air brakes, and so he's pulling the plane back. The plane stops, but as it stops, you can see a little bit of smoke coming from one side. So the cabin crew are there. They're telling passengers in no uncertain terms to get away from the aircraft because that is they're literally screaming at the passengers to get off. This is to concentrate minds and stop people going to the overhead bins and taking out their briefcases and cherished possessions, but just to get out. Because if one person stops to pick up their bags and things, it means everybody else behind and in front will be disadvantaged, shall we say, and they won't get off the plane. And they can actually see some fire emerging from the engine area. So that is a good incentive to clear the plane. They get off the plane, they disperse, and that is it. It is a classic belly flop landing. Only he did have the advantage over the latest incident, and that he had two working engines. Just for some reason, the undercarriage would not go down, and they had time to enact all the emergency procedures, and also in normal circumstances to get the undercarriage down. So that is a big question. You've got to remember that they had one damaged or one out engine that was out, so already the whole aircraft is compromised. Uh, you don't know what damage has been done to the generation systems, the electricity systems. You don't know whether they're running on the reserve electrics because the generator's not working. That, of course, works the hydraulic pumps and basically enables the wheels to come down, and a dozen other things it enables as well. So if he hasn't got that, then he has a problem. So he's taken the view that I've got to get this down. He tries to get it down first of all. That doesn't work, so he does a go around. So he might have got the wheels down for the first landing, and then something when he sort of takes the wheels back up to complete the go around. There might have been, I don't know, but there might have been bird nests, shall we say, and that's gone up and that's gone and fouled up the system. We don't know. We're going to have to find that out. But the point is, the wheels go up, they're locked, and that's it. They remain locked for the rest of this operation. So he hasn't got a lot of time. He's got a lot of things distracting him. I'm saying he, could be a she. I don't know if it's a male or female pilot. And I don't even know how many pilots are on board, because some of these aircrafts are operated single manning, which I don't agree with, but that is the way the world is. So the point is, he's very busy trying to keep his aircraft level, keep it in trim, line it up with the runway. The aircraft comes down. It's a perfect belly landing, and he's going straight along the runway at high speed. Now, the Polish aircraft was going very slowly then, okay, so he was able to pull it up, but then the fire starts there. Now, if we take the latest incident, what happens is that it is flying, well, it's not flying, it's scraping along the runway at full speed and goes to the end of the runway. That's the stopway, it's known, at the end part, but it keeps going. Then it goes into an obstruction. Now, people are saying it's a wall. It isn't a wall. What it is a great big concrete slab into which all the locator landing light systems have been sunk. Now, the regulations say that the installation must be frizzable, which basically means if something hits it, it collapses, doesn't cause any damage. You're not supposed to have a concrete slab there. And what has happened, looking at the latest pictures I've seen, is that the front of the aircraft, the nose, has gone under the slab. So the slab is there, goes under the slab then goes up like that at an angle, and that everybody thinks is the wall. It isn't, because all the lights are on the back of the slab. You can see them pointing that way. So that is very definitely against the rule book. Any equipment that is installed must be frangible. That is the word, which means it's a knockout. It knocks over. It goes flat if hit. Now, if you've got a great big thick 40 centimeter thick concrete slab, that's going nowhere at all, and the lights aren't going to go anywhere. And I'm afraid they didn't have a chance. If that wasn't there, then there's a good hope that everybody could have been saved. But unfortunately, that impact was just too much, and then the whole thing went up in a fireball. However, give the emergency services their due. They managed to pull out two of the cabin crew from the aft section, from the tail section. So that will be good when the investigation comes around to interviewing witnesses, because they can give their point of view as to what happened, in addition to everything else that we have from the flight data recorder and the flight voice recorder. If it's going at the speed of like a rocket along the runway, there's no way you can stop it. He couldn't operate the air brake. He couldn't operate anything. There's no way of slowing that aircraft down. But give the pilot his due. He managed to keep it straight, and it goes all the way along the runway at speed. And he would think, yes, well, it'd go into the area at the back, and then eventually it might go through a ploughed field or something, and it will stop. Then we can all get off. Not for one moment thinking there's a great big reinforced concrete slab that he's going to go straight into. Now, had he realized that's the situation, he might have angled his approach slightly differently to miss it, for example, and go and hit the barrier fence. Now, if you go to Heathrow Airport, you have a look at the perimeter fences. They're all still all chain link fences and hedging, and that is one of the reasons.